Fastlane 2016 is in the books. Yikes. That was a fucking episode of SmackDown. I don't often come up here and bitch and moan and complain, and I'm really not even going to do that tonight, but this was not a good pay-per-view. Some of the outcomes didn't make any sense. There was a lot of parts in the show that seemed like a huge waste of time, and a lot of it was kind of anticlimactic. This will probably be a pretty quick review too, because I want to jump right back into working on the WrestleMania Memories commentary. And just a quick little update on that, I am still on schedule. I'm guessing that it could spill over into like March 3rd. My goal is to have it up a full month before WrestleMania, which falls on April 3rd, so I'll try to get it up by March 3rd at the latest, but I'm shooting for the 1st, and this thing is fucking epic. Before we get into the shitballs pay-per-view, I just want to welcome any first-time listeners watching one of my videos for the first time. If you like everything you see and hear, please click that subscribe button. Like this video and share the shit out of it. Also follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. I have a website, GoodMicWorkCommentaries.com, where you can even download an MP3 of this episode, and you can find me on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Now, as far as Fastlane 2016 goes, like I said, yikes, yeesh. Not good. I'm not going to freak out yet. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are losing their minds and think that the WWE should cancel WrestleMania. I'm not going to go that far. WrestleMania can still be good. I'm not necessarily worried about it. But to me, this pay-per-view seemed phoned in. I think WWE has already got their eyes on tomorrow night's Raw, which seems like a big angle is going to drop of some kind with that Vincent J. McMahon award being given out to open the show. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. And plus, you know, we're officially now on the road to WrestleMania, and it was almost like the WWE was just looking ahead, past Fastlane, without putting any thought and effort on how to book this actual show. The main event was a huge letdown. What the fuck was that about? I predicted Roman Reigns to win, but I thought it would happen a little bit differently. We were expecting some sort of interference by the Wyatt family. We thought whatever they did that would cause Brock Lesnar to lose this match would set him up for whatever he was going to do at WrestleMania 32, but he actually lost this match clean. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns teamed up and double-teamed Brock Lesnar a lot, putting him through 2 tables with the powerbomb. I cannot believe they did not do that 3rd table. That would have been perfect. They would constantly try to get Brock Lesnar out of the picture so the two of them can fight one-on-one, and every time Brock started coming to, they would team up to jump on him again. Brock was still the ass-kicking beast that he always is, throwing Germans left and right, even had that great spot with the German and Samoan drop combo. That was a great spot. Dean Ambrose ends up going nuts with a steel chair, nailing Brock Lesnar about 100 times, nailing Roman Reigns a few times, and then when he goes back to Brock with the chair, Brock scoots out of the ring to get away, and then Roman Reigns, who just got hit with like 3 chair shots, is right up like it's nothing and spears Dean Ambrose and gets the pin. Not the greatest finish. I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, Roman Reigns, he won clean. This is just as bad, I think, as something like Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble the way he did, because if WWE wants to put Roman Reigns in the main event, or if they have a big swerve up their sleeve, or if they have any sort of long-term plans, I'm fine with that. I'm even fine with him winning, but doing it in such a way where it appears that the WWE is completely and blatantly ignoring the fans again, like they've already done the past couple of years, with Roman once before and Batista before that. No matter how much the fans scream for the opposite, the WWE just goes right on with their plans as usual and has Roman Reigns win this match and a strong babyface type showing. The big stare down with Triple H. The fans are booing their asses off. This, in the WWE's mind, is what they think the fans actually want to see. They didn't want to see that shit. I even think some of the fans might be with me to where they wouldn't completely hate the idea of Roman Reigns winning if it was just a little bit more interesting, if you had a heel turn tied in. We've been waiting for Dean Ambrose to turn, and that can still happen because Dean, got pinned by Roman Reigns tonight, and he lost to him at Survivor Series. Eventually, you got to think this is going to boil over, and Dean is going to snap or turn heel or something. So that could still be in the works for a Monday Night Raw leading up to WrestleMania or for WrestleMania itself. So I'm not going to be so quick to shit on WrestleMania just yet. I'm only shitting on Fastlane. I really enjoyed WrestleMania 30, and I enjoyed 31 pretty well too, so WWE can do it. And even when we think things are going to suck, they pull a good show out of their ass. So I still think they can do that for WrestleMania 32, but you got to do something. If you didn't do it here at Fastlane, if there was no swerve, there was no heel turn, there was nothing that surprised us in this main event, that means you have to do it at WrestleMania. So somebody's got to go fucking heel. Turn Roman Reigns heel would probably be the best solution. I don't know how they're going to do that with the way the storyline with Triple H has been playing out. There's no way Roman Reigns is going to join forces and hug and make out with Triple H in the middle of the ring, so that's not going to happen. So if Roman Reigns is going to go heel, how the hell do you do that? But they have to do something. Dean Ambrose seems the most likely Possibility, though, the way he's lost now to Roman Reigns a couple of times, eventually, you got to know that he wants to get his opportunity, and the only way he's going to be able to do that is to be an evil, ruthless heel going after Roman Reigns. It's probably the only way Dean Ambrose is going to be able to defeat him. Dean Ambrose is over with the audience, too. Everybody wanted Dean to win tonight. He was fearless in that match. He even slapped Brock Lesnar right in the face. His character is on fire right now, so Dean can do some major things at WrestleMania, and I hope that he does. Right now, it looks like we are going to get that one-on-one match between Roman Reigns and Triple H. I don't know if they could add people to it at this point. It's not looking likely, but, Brock, we never did see Bray Wyatt tonight. We thought Bray and Brock was going to start some big feud. We never saw that begin. I guess that could still happen on Raw, but right now Brock is kind of directionless going into WrestleMania, so they could still add him to the match, I guess. They could even still add Dean Ambrose to the match if he does some sort of a heel turn between now and WrestleMania. So there are some things they could do, I suppose, but right now, it kind of looks like the big one-on-one match between Roman Reigns and Triple H is actually going to happen. So if that is indeed the main event of WrestleMania, they better fucking do something, or you are going to have 100,000 very pissed off people, and you do not want that. So I personally am holding out hope that the WWE is not completely out of their minds. I wanted to see run-ins. I wanted to see heel turns. I wanted to see all this shit. We didn't get any of that, so I guess we're going to get that at a later date. We fucking better. Let's briefly talk about the rest, and then I'll kind of cut it short and get out of here. I probably will be up here, by the way, for a post-Raw review tomorrow night, because whatever this big award that they're giving out, I think is going to have a major impact on WrestleMania, and it's going to be some sort of a storyline. So I'm sure, even if Raw sucks, I'm going to have to be up here to talk about that. So let's briefly run through the rest of Fastlane. The pre-show match was, of course, Kalisto defending the United States title against Alberto Del Rio in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I kind of had this feeling that Del Rio might finally win the belt back, but I still predicted Kalisto to win because that's who I wanted to win, and that turned out to be right. Kalisto actually did beat Del Rio 2 out of 3 falls and retain the U.S. title, so that's awesome. Very happy about that. As far as the main card goes, the show opened with Sasha and Becky taking on Naomi and Tamina. Now, I was surprised this was the opening match. They should have had Kalisto and Del Rio on the main card, and that should have been the opening match. Either that or even the IC match. I'm not against Divas opening a pay-per-view or anything like that, but I would almost prefer it be a one-on-one match between Becky and Sasha, not this weird-ass tag team match. And I predicted Team Bad to win because Sasha and Becky are kind of not even friends. They're just thrown together. Team Bad seems like they're a little bit more cohesive. They even showed that in the match, but Becky and Sasha wound up winning anyway. Kevin Owens, as predicted, beat Dolph Ziggler in a match that was tough to get behind because it's a match that we've seen so many times. Now, the match is great. Both guys are awesome in the ring, and this match was just as good as a lot of their ones have been on Raw and SmackDown lately, but we've seen it a lot, and given the fact that Owens just won the Intercontinental title 6 days ago, none of us really saw him dropping it right now. So him defeating Ziggler and retaining the title was pretty much a given, and that's what happened. Here's kind of a surprising match and a surprising outcome. Ryback, Kane, and The Big Show, 3 guys that I don't think the fans give any fuck about at all, taking on the Wyatt family. It's going to be the 3 guys against Ryback, Kane, and Big Show, and then Bray Wyatt's going to be on the outside of the ring. And the Wyatts lost, which kind of surprised me. Ryback went off in the match, body slammed a whole bunch of guys a million times, went nuts and scored the pinfall, so he was kind of the star in this match. But again, it was a match that was made for SmackDown, not a pay-per-view. Charlotte did in fact retain the Divas title. There was a little bit of speculation that WWE might give the title to Brie Bella, considering everything surrounding Daniel Bryan and his retirement and her probably leaving the WWE very soon. Maybe a quick run with the Divas belt as a feel-good moment for her and Daniel is something that WWE might do, but luckily for us, I don't think any of us really wanted to see that. Charlotte did retain the title by making Brie Bella tap out. Speaking of tapping out, so did Chris Jericho. He did lose this little micro feud to AJ Styles. AJ won the rubber match. Another awesome match between these 2 guys. I was feeling this little miniature feud. I liked it a lot. I'm glad AJ came in and worked with Jericho first. And it was a pretty solid little program that they had. 3 good, solid matches. A bunch of good spots and a bunch of near falls in this one as well, including the Styles Clash that we saw for the first time. I wasn't sure if the WWE even wanted him to do that move. I'm not even a huge fan of it, but Jericho kicked out of it, but AJ ended up tapping him out with his submission instead. So I was fine with the match, I was fine with the kick out, and I was fine with the outcome. Edge and Christian's Cutting Edge Peep Show was up next. Their guests were going to be the New Day. Now, I speculated in my predictions video that maybe this could be something bigger, because to me, I didn't understand why this would be on a pay-per-view. This seems like something that should be on SmackDown or should be on Raw. And I even speculated that maybe, just maybe, Edge and Christian might be coming back for one match. I knew that was ridiculous, and I knew that probably wasn't going to happen, but I thought it was at least worth mentioning. One thing I did not mention, and I completely brain farted on, is all the rumors involving Enzo and Cass coming up from the NXT roster. And a lot of you guys were calling me out right away saying, GoodMicWork, what's going to wind up happening in that segment is that's going to be the debut of those guys. And I was like, holy shit, you're probably right. I didn't even think about that. But you know what? We didn't even see it. Can you believe that? And Edge and Christian's show, by the way, debuts tonight and debuted right after Fastlane. I watched about the first 5 minutes of it until I started doing this review. So once I was reminded of that, I was like, oh yeah, they're probably out there to plug that new show, have a good time out there with New Day and entertain the fans, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get those NXT guys coming up. But we never got that. What we got was an appearance by the League of Nations. Edge and Christian and the New Day are battling each other on the mic. They both wind up talking shit about the League of Nations members, and then they come out there and confront the New Day, who backs off, and they walk out of the ring. And then they get in Edge and Christian's face, who also back off and get out of the ring. They join New Day in the aisle, and then call the League of Nations a bunch of jackasses, and the New Day starts shaking their asses in their face, and the fans are going nuts for it, and it was just the most colossal waste of time. Very silly. Only in the WWE in 2016 can you see 5 guys walk away from a fight against 4 guys, and then call them names and shake their butts in their face to get a babyface pop. Only in the WWE. But anyway, the segment was dumb. The only other match we had on this pay-per-view was Curtis Axel versus R-Truth. The social outcasts come out there after we just had that ridiculous Edge and Christian and New Day segment. Now you get these 4 fuckwads out there cutting promos. R-Truth comes out, has a match with Curtis Axel, ends up losing when Goldust comes out, seemingly to help R-Truth, is kind of wandering out there around the ring, trying to watch R-Truth's back, and ends up costing him the match. So they're setting up some sort of a tag team between these two guys or something. But again, this was a fucking Raw segment. What the hell is going on here? Pretty weak pay-per-view, I have to say. So, like I said earlier, we just have to keep our fingers crossed for WrestleMania, the build for it, and the show itself. If it turns out to be good, then we'll forget all about this shitty pay-per-view. But WWE cannot be this fucking stupid. They clearly heard the reaction tonight. If they want to go through with a straight Roman Reigns path to the title, they better throw some twists and turns in there, because the fans are not going to accept this bullshit that they're giving us. And it's going to make for an ugly scene at WrestleMania 32 if they don't get their act together. So here's to hoping that's the case, and here's hoping we're going to have a great Monday Night Raw. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I'm going to predict that tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw is going to be very good. I think WWE is going to follow up this shitty pay-per-view with a great Raw, and that's one of the reasons why I think this pay-per-view might have been shitty, is WWE is already looking ahead. So if that's the case, we should get some pretty good shit tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, and I think this award is going to have something to do with a WrestleMania match. This Vincent J. McMahon award that's supposed to be the most prestigious ever given out, it almost has this feel like it's going to be a joke. It almost has this feel like the award is going to go to Vince McMahon or Triple H. And they're going to build it up and make it seem so grand and wonderful only to give it, to one of the McMahon family members or something like that. Or it could be a way to set up a big WrestleMania match. Now, The Undertaker has been in the news, and that the word on the street is WWE has decided who his WrestleMania opponent is going to be, and, according to the rumors, that person is not somebody who's currently on the WWE roster. So there's a lot of injured guys right now. You got John Cena on the shelf, you got Randy Orton on the shelf. You got Seth Rollins, you have Sting, who's going to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Technically, he's not on the main roster. You got guys in NXT like Finn Balor, who's kind of that demon-type character who would make a great opponent for The Undertaker. You have wild cards out there like Kurt Angle and The Rock and guys like that, so I guess it could be anybody, but I'm thinking if this award turns out to be for The Undertaker, then whoever he's going to work with at Mania confronts him during this segment. And it is going to open Raw, so it's going to be hopefully a pretty big deal, and I hope it's going to be a big angle. It better not be some cheesy-ass fucking letdown where they're giving it to Triple H and stroking his dick. This better lead to something major at WrestleMania and be a perfect tone setter for the road to WrestleMania and all the build that we're going to experience over the next 5 Monday Night Raws. So you give us a good Raw tomorrow night and you get us excited for WrestleMania 32, I'm willing to forgive this bag of shit pay-per-view that you gave us. That is it for me tonight. Oh, before I get out of here, by the way, I did hear the story that Wade Barrett is apparently going to be leaving the WWE, and I say good for him. Get the hell out of there. They ain't doing shit with you. I was a fan of the Bad News Barrett character. I don't know why he turned into King Barrett and had all these different characters and shit like that. That Bad News Barrett shit was over. They should have stuck with that. I'm glad that it looks like on the surface that he's just become frustrated and he just wants to get the hell out of there. He can probably make a lot more money in Japan or on the international scene and not have to worry with all that WWE bullshit and a great talent like him just sitting there that they're doing nothing with. So Wade Barrett's leaving the WWE. I say good for him and good luck. I will be back up here tomorrow night for a Monday Night Raw review. Leave me all your comments and thoughts on this pay-per-view. I don't expect them to be good. So if you ever want to bitch and moan, go nuts in the comments. This is one of the rare times where I'm likely to agree with you. I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Until then, peace.